Hi patrons! So I have a video to share with you today about the making of my first outdoor art mural. I created this for the Audubon at the Wildlife Care Center. This illustration is outside the green cage, which is one of the cages that recovering birds stay in while they're recuperating and getting ready to go back into the wild after having been cared for in the Wildlife Care Center in the hospital. I volunteer here in the hospital, and I also actually clean these cages. And I created this mural in the very beginning of my volunteer time while the building was still under construction. So there wasn't anything for me to do as a volunteer, and so I was just trying to find a way to be useful. And this was called the green cage, but it wasn't green. It was just brown wood. So I offered to paint it green, and the main supervisor said, well, hey, get creative with it. So I decided to create a painting that would brighten people's days while they were out there volunteering and remind them of the connection they have to the ecosystem they're protecting. So what I'm drawing with here is a chemical formula for alpha pinene. If you're familiar with my forest bathing or breathe drawing, you're familiar with this equation. It's something that conifers release, like spruce and pine. And when we're out in coniferous forests, breathing that in, it's lowering our cortisol levels and our heart rate. So it decreases stress. I'm drawing it with the Montana brand of fluid acrylics, which I will note I found out the hard way. You cannot varnish this with a brush-on varnish. It has to be varnished with a spray varnish, which I was very displeased with. In the photos, I'll share with you how I did so while protecting the wildlife reserve, which we are in. In this area of the painting, I'm drawing with equations pulled from my illustration Strength in Numbers, which is inspired by Suzanne Simard's research about how healthy forest ecosystems share resources through a mycorrhizal network. So this is drawn with sugars, nutrients, water, and chemical formulas for messages that the trees would be sending to each other to, for instance, warn about a beetle infestation so that other trees can mount a defense and be less vulnerable. This part here is to remind us of how we are all connected and stronger together. And here you can see the full mural with the interconnected roots. And this connects my pieces Breathe, Forest Bathing, Strength in Numbers, and you see Mount Hood there. Mount Hood in the background is not drawn in numbers. It's painted with exterior acrylic paint. And then I drew the numbers with very simple colors. It's just black and white to keep it simple. Now volunteers can see this whenever they're working out there. Unfortunately, this is not viewable by the public because it's a protected space, but I'm hoping that it brightens people's days while they're working hard to take care of the wild birds and animals in our local ecosystems. Thanks for watching.